Today, we welcome you into On Sara's Partyline here this morning. Partyline brought to you by Chiropractic Connection and Wimmer Opticians. We are talking Stearns County Soil and Water here today as our pal Dennis Fuchs makes his way in studio. Meow. Fuji, how are we doing today?
Very good. Hello, listeners.
Introduce your pals.
We've got Chris Hogue here.
Well, we know Chris. I was more talking.
Well, I'm just going down the line here and saving the best for last.
Well, Chris, it was great seeing you. Yeah, welcome.
It's great to be here.
Welcome back to KASM Radio, Chris.
For listeners, Chris has grown his beard out. I know you can't see that. It's getting gray and a little mixed red in there. I don't know what he could be a Santa in a few years.
I'm waiting for Santa.
I like the touch of gray, though.
It does add a little.
I can't believe Dennis made fun of that. The thing he's been pulling off for 3 decades straight now, and he's beaking you on that.
Yeah, he's 3 decades straight, and it's white, not gray. I mean, it's just straight. Gray's given up.
Gray was that Cliff Mitchell picture from 1998.
Yeah, right.
That was great. Now it's white.
Yeah, well, that was a long time ago.
Anyway, Dennis, you brought another KASM Country born and raised employee with you here today.
Actually, not an employee. She's my boss.
Oh.
She is a Stearns SWCD supervisor. Took
Gotcha.
over for Chuck Uphoff, who resigned the end of June. She took the oath of office on Tuesday. So welcome, Justine Meyer from Meyer Grove.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Justine, you're his boss, and you still let him, his key still fits in the door?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have some criticism on his driving, but, he gets where he needs to be safely.
Okay.
And quickly.
And quickly.
Yeah, quickly. For sure.
Emphasis on the quickly.
Yes.
Justine from Meyer Grove, so Melrose graduate?
No, I actually went to St. John's Prep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and I'm a substitute teacher there as well now.
Okay, gotcha. You just couldn't leave that place.
No, I mean, they asked for me back. I graduated from University of Minnesota Duluth back in December with a bachelor in communications.
Okay.
2 minors in environmental sustainability and art. But I got home from December. I was just studying abroad in Italy, and I moved home, and they asked for me back. So it was kind of weird being there after only 3.5 years of graduating high school, but I love it. Love all of my high school teachers.
And 2 minors, that's 10 less than he had in college. But
yeah, I couldn't pick just one.
The beauty of it is being from here and coming back to this area, and especially with the familiarity with St. John's Prep School, that it's got to be kind of a perfect fit for you, Justine.
Yeah, exactly. I'm happy to be back. I've been gone for a while, just in college, and I spent my summers in Alaska and up north in Minnesota, Walker, Minnesota. I was working at a resort there. But yes, it's great to be back in Stearns County. It's beautiful.
Family grew up on a farm?
Yes. Yep. Grandparents were farmers, family of farmers now, and I'm actually managing my family's produce business off the home farm right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
Where's the farm?
Just south of Meyer Grove. Big white house, big white barn called Marvin's Gardens.
Sure.
After my father, who's listening now, Marvin.
Sure.
Marvin Meyer.
Wow, you beat me to my next question. My favorite Stearns County question: who do you belong to?
Yeah.
And it's Marvin. And what's mom's name?
Rita.
Marvin and Rita. Okay. Well, Marvin, thanks for listening. And Dennis,
Hi, Marv.
Dennis, how did the application process go for Justine? What set her apart?
We had 2 folks that were interested, and they both did a fantastic job at the interview with the board. But the board ultimately nominated and appointed Justine just because she really nailed the questions about the future of the county and the natural resources and the direction. And she also put a lot of emphasis on education. And we're a voluntary organization. We're not a regulatory agency. We want folks to step up and protect their resources in a voluntary fashion. Well, one of the best ways you can do that is through education. And Justine nailed that. And it's the pulse.
The educator did a good job educating.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Justine, how did they approach you? Did you hear about this? Your dad told you it'd be a good idea, or how did the ball get rolling?
No, so it kind of fell into my lap. Jake from SWCD, one of the staff members, came out and wanted to certify us for water quality. And that kind of got my name in the pool that I didn't even know about. He told Dennis, to my understanding, because they were looking for a woman to fill the role. Dennis emailed my dad. Dad forwarded that email, and I was like, sure, yeah, that would be a great opportunity. So Dennis and Chuck actually came out to the farm, told me all about the
ambush.
job. Yeah, a little bit. No, I invited them, and had a great time learning about it, and it sounded like a great fit for me. So that's just kind of how it all came about. And I've always been passionate about conservation and protecting our natural resources, as well as the education, as Dennis was saying, just informing people, letting them know about the opportunities that they can do and, practice to improve their land and the natural resources that we all use.
Geez, is that scripted or what? That was a great answer. Nice work.
Thank you.
Dennis,
No, you see,
wow,
it was an
I
easy
see,
choice.
I
Yeah.
see what. So you were looking for someone in that kind of northern Stearns County. You had talked about it a couple times that
Yeah, the northwest
northwest
8
corner.
townships. Yep.
Yeah, and a female candidate, younger, and with a great emphasis on education. It was a perfect fit, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Stearns SWCD will be celebrating 75 years of existence in October. And
Dennis was actually part of all 75 of them.
well, the last
believe
third
it.
of them. But we've never had a female on the board before, and so that is very exciting. And I don't know this for a fact, but I think Justine is also the youngest supervisor that we've ever had on the board. I know Jerry Bechtold, former supervisor that passed away, was on the board for 50-plus years, and he was 80-something when he passed away. So he was probably in his 30s when he was there helping getting it started.
Sure.
So having a young female on the board with a different perspective really will help us, I think, the board guide us with really good decisions in the future for protecting our resources.
Justine, when you think about, being that young, being maybe the youngest, maybe probably the youngest board member, what goals do you have in the next? Because Chuck had a nice little shift there. That was it 30 years?
It was 25.
25 years. So what goals are you looking to accomplish in potentially a quarter of a decade?
Well,
a quarter of a century, excuse
sure.
me. Yeah.
I'd say 50.
Yeah. 50. Okay.
As a start. No, I'm hoping to really expand just cover crops in our area, especially Area 1, which I'm representing. Just seeing local farmers trying to lean into new technologies and practices, making them aware of what the possibilities and the benefits of those are, just simply of cover crops. That's kind of my first mission. But on top of that, really trying to learn and gain knowledge and experience through talking with farmers, having those important conversations of what we can all be doing, what they would like to see me doing, and how I can, lean into that, how
Sure.
how I can help them.
Well, and having the opportunity to, the place you grew up, I mean, you take some pride. Is it Area 1?
Yes.
Area 1 is your home stretch,
Home
basically.
turf.
And knowing the neighbors, knowing, the issues that these guys and gals have been dealing with for quite some time, having that kind of in your back pocket and being there to represent them through the SWCD, it's got to be quite the honor.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to, really getting to know them because my parents know them, and, I know their names, but on a personal level, I need to really just get to know them better.
Sure.
Yeah, which
Sure.
I'm really, really looking forward to.
When were you appointed?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
so,
week.
Wow, in the first 48 hours, what issues have you dealt with?
Well, the immediate first order of business was going to the Stearns County budget meeting with the county commissioner office. So going to that, and then followed up with a conservation tour of our candidates for, what was the award that we were going for?
The Outstanding Conservationist and our Wildlife Habitat Steward, which we can cover after the break.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a very exciting first couple of days. But Justine also went to a couple of our board meetings just to see what it was all about. What was it, May you attended, and June?
Yep, Andrew.
And she also was on our conservation tour, bus tour here in June, and had an opportunity to look at a variety of projects that we implemented. And just very, what I really like to see was just her interest in our projects, and that was fantastic.
So an opportunity, Justine, with, you're on the radio, you're going to Stearns County Commissioner meetings and stuff like that. You're going on bus tours and just pick it up as you run with it. There wasn't a cheat sheet Chuck left you that said, do this on Tuesdays or anything like that. It was just kind of roll with the punches?
Yeah, exactly. I used to do radio in college, actually, what is called the North 103.3 FM. I was a student marketing director for that. So I'm familiar with radio, and when Dennis brought it up that I could be on radio, I was like, all
I'll be there.
for it. Yeah. And my dad again, Marvin listens to KASM all the
KASM
time.
man.
And as soon as I got home from college, he was like, you should try to work for KASM. You should get on the radio. I'm
I
like,
got the
I
guy's
don't
phone
know."
number. I could point you to his office if you wanted some applications or
Well,
something
I got
like
a couple
that.
of irons in the fire right now, so I think I'm going to focus on them right now. But thank you.
If you're ever curious, I mean, just you know, she knows how to get here now. So
And I hope to be back soon with the soil and water. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Dennis, it seems like you know, you, the rest of the staff and the board. Did the board select? Did you select, or how did it?
The board.
The board select.
The board. So because Chuck's term doesn't end until December of 2026, the board can appoint a person to fill out his term, finish his term. So they actually appointed Justine at the last board meeting, and then Justine took the oath of office when we had our special meeting this week to meet with the county staff about our budget request. And then also did the outstanding conservationist tour. So she took the oath of office and is going to protect the resources in Stearns County to the best of her ability.
And having that honor bestowed upon you, as we talked about before, you're excited for it.
Yes, very much so.
Having the chance to not only meet local growers and stuff like that, but potentially you know, try to help them resolve some solutions and get to the bottom. Chris, take the mic for a second. Take that mic. Wow. Dennis passed the mic.
Did you just see that?
Dennis
Dennis is now
fast.
going to be quiet for a
Dennis
little bit.
can't talk for 3 minutes. What are we going to do? No, Chris, what in 48 hours, what are you excited about working with Justine?
Well, I just want to point out that she was knowledgeable before she accepted the nomination to be part of the Soil and Water Conservation District Board. So she was fully aware of what she was going to get into. So she's attended 2 meetings. She knew what she's getting into prior to saying yes.
Clearly rode with Dennis at some point too. So
rode with Dennis.
Live to tell about it.
So she knows what she's getting into, and she made that conscious decision on her own and not in distress.
Yeah.
So in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years, when she comes back and says, I remember when I was forced, no, that can't ever happen.
She chose.
She chose on her own to make that decision.
Man, it's like he's guilty. He's guilting you into something. Like I got you.
I'm just saying, I applied for a position and I was just dropped in, and they were like, "Oh, here, this is where you're going, Waite Park." And
You work here now.
yeah, I walked in the door and I never had met Dennis before, so it was just, hey. And within the first week, I don't know if folks remember, but within the first week, I'm thinking within the first 24 hours, I was on the radio.
Oh,
And I've never been on the radio before that time.
seems to be his move.
Yeah, it seems
Bring
to
the
be,
new guy.
Yeah, well, it is his move.
Yeah.
That's kind of, we're going to break in the new guy
Yeah,
or the new lady.
get him into the radio.
We're
station.
doing the radio right now, so
It's fantastic too, though, Justine, to think, you know, the doors that this could open for you as well. Not only through the board, but working with guys like Chris through NRCS, and just the amount of potential is going to be fun, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And as a emerging producer myself, I'm really looking forward to all the resources that I can implement on the home farm. So all the conservation practices, sustainability work. I'm excited and looking forward to that. I'm, tied in for at least the next 2 years, and hopefully 50, as these guys have been saying.
48 behind it.
But yeah, it's just so great to be back in Stearns County and being on the home farm.
That's a good answer. She had a lot of good answers, Dennis, but that was a good way to end it right there.
We're so pleased to have her on our team to help guide us into the future. The future is bright.
Sure. Justine, welcome to KASM Radio. Welcome to the board of the hanging out with these guys, bossing Dennis Fuchs around. I mean, that should be on your business card right there. I tell Dennis what to do on a daily basis.
Exactly.
We have more to come with Justine, and of course, we'll get plenty of updates with Chris and Dennis as well. They're busy boys this summer. On Sarah's Party Line, we take a break right now. Trade Morning Market Update here on KASM, brought to you by Minnesota Farm Bureau, making a difference for agriculture locally in the state and nationally. Join today, www.fbmn.org. Justine Meyer, Chris Hogue, and Dennis Fuchs joining me in studio here today. As Christopher, you get to grab that microphone for the time being and tell me about some potential job openings you had mentioned off the air that you guys have stumbled across.
Well, we haven't stumbled across. There is some sort of a plan across the state to open positions that are necessary to basically address the workload, because we've got a lot of dollars coming from IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act that was passed a few years ago. So we're looking to our next job announcements that are coming out are probably going to be soil con tech positions. So it would be a soil conservationist technician, which they're pretty much responsible for engineering and conservation planning. So they do a lot with survey design and construction of mostly earthen structure type stuff. If anybody's familiar with like Lee Zabensky, he used to be a soil con technician when he was working his way through. And
Is he an extension guy now?
no, he's actually a civil engineering technician. He kind of took a step up. So
Oh.
now he does a lot more. He's focused more in the ag waste specifically.
Sure.
And working with folks to implement practices to address manure storage. And so the soil contact's kind of it's kind of a starting position. So one nice thing about a soil contact is you don't need a 4-year degree. You just need to have some experience in engineering or survey and design
Sure.
and desire to work on conservation.
And as you've alluded to a few times, Chris, the opportunities are endless once you get kind of your foot in the door there through that soil contact. There's plenty of ladders you can climb.
Yeah, there is a lot of opportunities for a soil contact to move up, and it's expanding as we go. So it's a really nice position for folks who are looking for careers, and they, as a soil contact, they're kind of like the base for our agency. They are folks that usually stay in the same community, in the same office for long periods of time, and kind of are the office face. They literally are working with producers out in the field every day, doing survey, doing design, doing engineering, implementing things like water and sediment control structures, grass waterways, terraces, things like that, working with wetland restoration. So that's a big position. There'll be, I think, 12 to 20 positions opening up across the state.
Wow.
And so it's like I said, it's a really good opportunity for young folks who are interested in getting into the
Where you want to go.
Yeah. And we just had a non-supervisory DC position that was posted and closed, but based on the information I have, that will probably be reposted again later. But that one was a multi-state, and there, I believe, was 90
Applicants?
positions open.
Oh, 90.
Yeah, 90
Opportunity.
positions
Wow.
open across 2 or 3 states. So if you've got a 4-year degree with 6 credits in soils and 6 credits in plants, it is an excellent opportunity to be looking for soil con position postings. And if you're looking for that, look at it usajobs.gov. You can just Google it, and it'll be the first thing up there, and you can start looking through jobs. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a holler at 320-251-7800, extension 3.
Look at that. Got the number. Very good.
He's got the phone number down. Chris, you talk about those opportunities. You love getting phone calls and helping, young graduates and stuff like that, try to get their foot in the door. You're there to help. You can put a game plan together for them.
Correct. I'm more than happy to help people get where they need to be. We had the interns on the last radio show that we had. Their internships are coming to an end, and I don't know if you guys remember Rachel, but she might get an opportunity to extend her internship in Mankato, where she is going to school at.
Sure.
So the Mankato field office might be a place where she can work part-time and then go to school and finish out her career, or finish out her degree. And then at that point, we're going to try to get her on with the agency.
Sure.
And Michael pretty much has a path that is already set for him. So once he graduates, as long as he graduates with his degree, and he's pretty much going to be placed in Minnesota or in the country, wherever he chooses, in a position that would be soil con.
Did you intern like those guys many moons ago?
No, actually, I didn't.
Okay.
The other path that a lot of people take, and you'll see some of these applications popping up, is Pheasants Forever. Pheasants Forever, Soil and Water Conservation Districts, they all have positions that are open. And those are really good stepping stones to getting into the agency, because it kind of gives you exposure to practices and programs and what the agency does from a partnership perspective. And then when those positions open up, you can use your experience as a Pheasants Forever or a SWCD or one of those partners and use that as kind of a stepping stone to get in.
Gotcha.
So when I was starting, I was actually a Pheasants Forever, SWCD, and then an NRCS. While actually employed, it was before they did the internships.
Sure.
That's how I started. So, and I just got lucky. I think everybody was kind of just desperate, and they're like, "Oh, we're just going to take that guy right there."
We need someone. Hey, you.
Yeah, I was. When you pick for the team, I was the last guy that they pick on the team, and it was just that one team that's just like, "Oh my god!"
It was either you or that stray dog on the other side of the yard.
Well, yeah, it was either me or no one, and it was just like, "We'll go with that guy right there."
But it all worked out. I mean, you've climbed the ladder nicely with NRCS, and it's been a pretty good fit for your time thus far, it seems.
Yeah, I've been with the agency 24 years, and being a team lead in Waite Park has been very gratifying. I have an awesome team. We're starting to really pick things up a lot better now. I actually have staff, so that it was really difficult there for a while because it was just me and I think Lee. Whereas we were the only two people, and then Lee left and went to a civil engineering tech, and then it was just me. So yeah, we're moving up.
Justine, we used to joke that the NRCS Christmas party in Waite Park was pretty lame. The Secret Santa was just him giving himself a gift and stuff like that. But now he's got a whole staff and stuff, so it's gonna be a real banger this time around.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's good. Dennis, you've been busy. You've got you say you have some new employees as well?
We just added a new conservation planner to our team, Isabella Carpenter. And we also advertised another position because we lost Tessa Grieve. She became a full-time mom, and which is great for her, but bad for us. So we actually had another opening for a conservation planning position. That advertisement ended yesterday, so it's closed now. And we had 14 applicants, and we'll be processing those folks, and interviews will be in August. And hopefully have somebody here at KASM to meet you, Kirby, in September.
There we go.
Yeah,
we're excited.
Yeah, we're very excited. It's Isabella's a recent graduate from Iowa, and she's just getting started and doing a lot of training.
Wrong spot.
No, that's a good. We're trying to educate the Minnesotans on conservation and trying to help you all step it up.
I was just saying that she's not an Iowa State grad.
I believe she is an Iowa State grad.
Oh, he said Iowa.
Yeah,
No.
from Iowa.
Oh, from Iowa.
From
gotcha.
Iowa. There's a slight difference.
Fellow
but
Cyclone. Gotcha.
Fellow Cyclone, yes.
There we go.
Originally from St. Michael, Albertville area, but went to school down in Iowa.
But went to get educated at Iowa State.
Well, we'll remember that when you keep getting those Minnesota tax dollars on your paycheck week by week, Christopher. But anyway, Isabella, a great addition to the team.
Yep. Very much so. And so she's going through a lot of conservation planning training right now, and she'll be hitting the books hard and then getting out in the field. She's been participating, helping out with their tours, and just, she's going to be a great team asset.
What if local growers had some issues? Obviously, a wet spring and summer, Dennis. Have there been any, this might be a Chris question actually too. Well, either of you can take it. Some soggier land that people said, you know what, I don't want to manage this anymore. Let's go back and try to get some native stuff back in there. Or anyone look down that path?
Yeah, well, maybe we could talk a little bit about the tour that Justine mentioned, our outstanding conservationist and wildlife habitat steward.
Okay.
We were doing the tour of our candidates this week, Tuesday. And we had two candidates for the outstanding conservationist and one for the wildlife habitat steward. And the winner of our outstanding conservationist for 2024 is Meadowbrook Dairy from Sartell. They actually are going to have a field day coming up here on Friday, August 9th from 1 to 3:30 in the afternoon. And if you Google Practical Farmers of Iowa, they're actually helping with this field day. Why did they have to get part of that? Here we go.
Educating
them north of I-90. Look at them doing it there.
And that'll be on the Meadowbrook Dairy Farm. So that would be an excellent opportunity to visit our outstanding conservationist for this year. Alex Uterman and his wife Chrissy have been just so instrumental in helping us with. They were a tour stop for our conservation tour, a bus tour. They've been on our farmer panels. They also are Minnesota Ag Water Quality Certified. That means they've reached a score with all of their cropping systems, all of their fields, in achieving a water quality index score that protects Minnesota resources. They've got 5 different endorsements, everything from irrigation to wildlife habitat. The wildlife habitat, they did a massive wetland restoration as part of the storing water for the city of Sartell, and before it hits the Mississippi River. They've done a tremendous amount of work out there, and they are very proactive in sharing the message, which is awesome. When we put on field days, farmers much rather hear from farmers that are implementing conservation practices and making it work versus me.
Yeah.
And
People would rather listen to someone else than you. We know.
Your listenership just kind of goes, oh, there's Janice again.
Oh, that 4th Thursday of the month again? Shoot.
Yeah. So we're very, very excited. The Outstanding Conservationists for 2024, Meadowbrook Dairy, Alex and Chrissy, their dad, John. We worked with them many years ago to do some ag waste work out there. Very good proponent of conservation practices. And then the other...
Hold on a second here.
Okay, well, hang on.
Oh, well, Justine was on the tour, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She probably has an opinion on it. You don't have to take the ball all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
No, they're doing excellent work.
I know they are, but you don't get to come here that often. And it's your radio debut at
Thank
KASM
you.
Radio. Marv's still listening, I bet. So, how was the tour?
Marv actually did. He told me last night he did their manure pit back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, when he was doing it for Meyer Engineering.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I mean he has a connection there, but no, excellent work going on. They did over, or I think 100 acres of wetland restoration. Sorry, which is just amazing to see. And all of their work that they're doing, he is so educated and very much embracing the new approach to farming. You know, stepping away from the conventional and using cover crops. You know, no till. I think. Which is just excellent to see. And he's being a great resource for other farmers in the area and just like a great example. And we're so happy that he was the winner of this award. Yeah. And so, I mean, all the farmers, they can turn to him, look at what he's doing, listen to his experience, and, you know, kind of grow from there.
And Justine, you talk about, 100 acres, it's not nothing. A guy changing that over to wetlands and stuff like that, it's progressive thinking, and that's what you guys are all about.
Definitely. And it wasn't working for them as, you know, farmland to keep cropping it. So they turned to the alternative of what we can do instead of cropping, how to improve their local environment, and thinking larger off of their property, improving the water that is going off their property and into the Mississippi River, which affects, you know, half the country, you know, downstream. So just looking at that, I think everybody can embrace that bigger approach to farming and how we manage and use our land.
And Fuji, as she's found out and you found out over the years, you get one farmer to get some success on that. Next thing you know, the whole neighborhood and the whole town and part of the county is all thinking, well, that worked.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should do that.
Yeah. I'm maintaining my production levels and getting a better return on my investment. This is actually saving me time. I got more time to hit a Lake Henry ball game and be sad.
Well, they won't be at a Lake Henry game for a while, but it's still an opportunity.
The sadness is still there.
It's still there. Too soon. Too soon. And I was waiting for my pot shot to you right at the end of the program, but now you ruined it. But I might still get one in. But those are just great opportunities. And when you know, Chris, you talk to the local growers and they have questions and stuff like that, and you hear a guy willing to not sacrifice, but update 100 acres of his land, you guys are there for it.
Yeah, it's something that I've promoted since I started with the agency, because when I was just beginning, that was my job. I basically just did CRP when the buffer strip program and filter strip program came out. And one of the things that we talked about a lot with producers is, where are you losing your production? And in Iowa, where we were located, it would flash flood and it would wipe out basically the first 25 to 50 feet of their property. And they would not get any corn or anything to grow. So we just kind of had the discussion.
What's the solution here? Yeah.
If you're not producing, but you're putting all of your inputs in there, why continue? Because it's just a loss for you.
Just banging your head against the wall.
Go in there, put a buffer strip, put a filter strip in there, and then you're not putting those inputs back. Up here in Minnesota, a lot of what we have is a pothole type where you have wetlands in the field. You're putting inputs into those locations, and sometimes they're drowning out. Well, if they're drowning out 5 or 6 years out of 10, maybe we need to start putting those into some sort of a wetland restoration or some sort of a CRP practice. You're still getting the benefit of CRP payments, but you're not putting in your inputs. You're not putting in your fertilizer, and you're still reaping a benefit, but you're not filling a hole. And it's better for your bottom line for a producer. And once they start looking at it's not really a loss, it's a gain, then it starts to become something that people are more interested in.
Does it take a more moisture-filled year like this year to maybe open some eyes, Chris?
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it's just they come to the realization that it's just not producing. I mean, that's usually what it comes down to. It's usually a bottom dollar type thing is like, oh, hey, you know what? We're losing money here. What can I do? And that's usually what it comes down to is, why am I doing what I'm doing if I'm only losing? So, and it works out really well for CRP. We have a lot of different CRP options. If you have a dry hill that's not producing, we have some CRP that could possibly address those issues. If you got wet, we got wetland restoration type things, and they can be designed in a manner that fits your farming operation. So it's not like you got end rows. We can kind of work it around so it's something that you can farm around and it'll fit your farming operation.
And you guys this isn't a one-size-fits-all program either. You've started small. There's been a couple acres here and there that you guys have started with, and we always joke the back 40 on the back end of the property that no one can see, so you're not getting any ribbing from the neighbors driving by. You guys you'll work and be adaptable to whatever the situation works, farm by farm.
Correct. Yeah, it's not a cookie cutter type deal. It's something that you have to. It has to fit your farming operation. And if it doesn't fit your farming operation in the way that you manage your farm, then it's probably not what you want to do for your farm or for the future. But it's something that you need to keep in mind when you're looking and when you're harvesting this year. Where did you get production and where didn't you get production?
Yeah.
And if you have areas that aren't producing as well as you believe they should, maybe there's other options. And seeding them down for 10 years and letting them recoup might be the way to address that issue.
Sure. Dennis, have you guys been to Boho lately?
Yes, we actually had lunch there when we were working our outstanding conservationist and wildlife habitat steward candidate, and what a great facility!
I love the Boho.
Yeah,
it is awesome.
That's the spot, and the relationship he's built there. You guys, you had the water testing day there. You had I think Chuck Ceremony was there.
Chuck Ceremony, and then Greg Hans there, the owner, has got pollinator plantings. Has been all very positive. We had the We Are Water exhibit there.
Did you bike there ever?
Yes, I have.
You have biked there?
Yes.
Good. I mean, he's the bike guy, and it's a bike. It's right on the Lake Wobegon Trail. It seems like
fantastic.
a perfect fit. And they have beer. They have beer there. So, what else? If the Lakers played there, you'd never leave.
Yeah, wood fire pizza. Yeah, beer. We just need more Lakers.
That's good stuff.
I was going to mention Kirby before we wrap it up here is that we also selected a wildlife habitat steward, and that was Mike Knoll and his family. They've done a lot of work with CRP, like Chris was talking. They farmed just south and east of Albany, and they got a beautiful piece of property out there that was in CRP, a lot of the brome grass, the early CRP. They are now converting that into a more diverse native prairie stand with pollinator habitat. They're doing a lot of tree plantings and modifying their oak savanna and they've got some wildlife food plots, just a heck of an operation out there. And we also had a chance to meet Mike's son-in-law, Jeffrey Burgess, who's a pilot for Delta. We were out there on Tuesday, and his whole schedule got mixed up here because of the big shutdown,
the IT,
software, computer problems, and he had to take off, and I guess flights are starting to move again. But he said the airport looked like a homeless shelter,
sure,
with all the people waiting for flights and
everybody
there for multiple days. But he's very excited about what his father-in-law has got started, and him and Mike are on the same page, as Mike likes to say. So they're going to be doing a lot of work out there for wildlife habitat. And it's just great to see if you do have areas out there, like Chris was saying, it doesn't have to be in crop production. We can put it into forestry, native prairie, or other types of pollinator habitat. So those options exist. And if you would like to pursue that, come into our office. And I know we're getting closer to the end. And speaking of getting into our office, if you're thinking about doing some soil health practices this fall, like cover crops, don't come in our office after you're done harvesting.
Before.
You need to come into our office now,
Yeah.
this summer, before you get busy out in the field with harvest activities. So please come into our office if you're interested in planting a cover crop after harvest, and we can get you set up potentially with some financial assistance, and we can definitely give you some technical assistance.
Yeah, we can help with establishing kind of meeting your goals. So determine what you want to get out of your cover crops and then come in and speak with staff. And you don't really even have to come in. Just give us a phone call, and we'll come out and meet you and visit you in the field and see.
What's that phone number?
Oh.
Man,
Hey, you got it before.
it's 320-251-7800 extension 3.
Nailed it.
Yep. And you feel free to call. We'll send staff out to meet with you. It's a great opportunity for our new staff to learn about goals and expectations from producers.
Sure.
And then it gives us an opportunity to provide you with some great service. And I just got handed this. Applications for soil health equipment grants is open from August 1st and will close August 30th. And what more do you want to say about this, Dennis?
The Minnesota Department of Ag's got a soil health equipment grant. If you need some equipment to help get your soil health practices started, like a no-till drill or a strip-till piece of equipment, these funds can help you do that. Those dollars are open. It's go to the Minnesota Department of Ag website and look for soil health equipment grants. They have a max of $40,000 per producer and a minimum of $500, and it's a great opportunity to get some free money
Sure.
to implement your soil health goals. Get some equipment.
You going to be at the fair?
I don't know for sure if I'm going to make it or not.
Okay.
We will have a booth out there and with lots of information, so swing by our booth and grab a brochure and give us a call if there's any questions so we can come out and visit.
There we go. Well,
I want to bring one last thing, and it's very important.
and I want to hear it.
And it's very important to me is that we're about to enter the field, folks, and we're about to start moving equipment and doing harvest. We all need to be aware, be safe, okay? Because safety is an issue.
Yeah.
And we don't need to have any tragedies again. Or we don't need any tragedies in Stearns County this year. So make sure you're aware. Make sure you're watching around your vehicles. Make sure you're walking around the vehicle before you get it started. Watch when you're backing up. When you're driving on the roads, folks, those tractors are moving slow, and they're carrying a lot of weight. They may or may not see you. So don't be passing and being too erratic because we don't need a tragedy.
Build yourself a little more time.
No drinking while you're harvesting.
Yeah.
You can do that after you get done.
Build yourself a little more time on the roadways. Well said, Chris. Well, Justine, buckle up when you're with Dennis. Apparently, this was news to me. I was unaware of his that Earnhardt over here was such a wild card on the road. But we appreciate you coming in. When you see the schedule, stop by anytime. I know he's got some other guys he likes to bring in here, but you're always welcome as well, Justine. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Say hi to Dad one more time.
Yes. Hi, Dad. Thank you for listening. And Carl and Carrie and everybody, all of my family who supports me. The press release just got out yesterday on Facebook, and I had a flood of comments, wishing me congratulations. And again, it's just an honor to be the Area 1 supervisor. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of the producers and landowners in Area 1 and Stearns County.
Stearns County people rooting for someone from Stearns County. Shocker.
It's
right?
what we like to
That's
see.
what we like to do. It's like Dennis with the baseball teams. He likes them all.
Yeah, I really do. Lake Henry's the number one team. Well, maybe not this year.
Number one in the heart.
Number one in the heart.
So then I'm leading on my backup team, St. Martin, and then my next backup team is Spring Hill, and then my next backup team is Richmond.
I joked off the air. He likes the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Orioles. He just likes, and I like them all. So, Chris,
but I don't like the Packers.
Yeah, you better not either. That's thank you guys for stopping in.